Good morning, Year 3. How are we? It is Monday. It's the first day of the summer term. It's a bit of a different start to the first day of the summer term, but nevertheless, we are all here. I hope you are still staying safe. I hope you are well. I've seen lots of pictures from all of you about things that are going on, so thank you so much for that. Okay, so it is Monday, so it is time for The Boy Who Grew Dragons. It has been, well, it feels like ages since I've actually read this book to you, but if you look down there or up there, there's the next chapter. We have just learned that Grim or Liam, I can't remember which one it is growing, I think it might be Liam, is growing artificial vegetables using his dragon. I'm pretty sure that's where we left off. And let's see what happens next. Chapter 20. The head that hung on. After school, we all followed Liam, keeping well back so he didn't spot us. He wasn't going his usual way home. Instead, he turned into the park and was scurrying along the outer fence where he was hidden by the trees. "Where's he heading?" Kai hissed. There was nothing but fields down this side of the park, unless he was going all the way across to the lane where Nana and Grandad lived. I suddenly pictured Grandad's gargantuan beans and Grim's humongous onions, and my stomach did a monumental backflip. "Oh no!" I cried. "He's been in Grandad's garden. That's why all the vegetables have grown huge. That dragon's been breathing on them." "What?" said Ted. "Why?" And then a truly terrible thought hit me. What if Liam's been sneaking in to try and steal another dragon's fruit? Before Ted could answer that, Kat grabbed my arm. "I think he's calling it," said Kat. "Look, he keeps blowing on his hands." Sure enough, the next second, the lime and grey dragon darted down from one of the trees. Liam pulled off his coat and, as it flew into reach, he cast it over the dragon like a net. It dropped to the ground under its weight. I heard Kat give out a little grunt of displeasure and mutter something under her breath about some people having no respect. Liam wrapped his arms around the bundle and lifted it up. It wriggled and squirmed. "Come on, this is our chance," I said. "Oi, Liam!" Ted shouted. Personally, I've been thinking of being a bit less obvious. You know, element of surprise and all that. But Ted's yell had shattered that. Liam spun around, saw us creeping up on him, and immediately started running. We chased after him, yelling at him to stop. But of course, he didn't listen. For a minute, I thought we had him. We were that close. But then, he ducked through a gap in the hedge and disappeared. We scrambled after him, crawling on our hands and knees through the undergrowth. "Oi, get your bum off my face!" Kat snapped at Kai after a few minutes. "Get your face off my bum," he answered. "I can't go any further, so stop pushing." I could see Liam through the tangle of branches, somewhere on the other side. He hadn't run off. He was just standing there. "I don't understand," I said. "How did he get out of there? We've been crawling for ages and there's no sign of a way through yet." And then I noticed the creaking. The branches around us were moving, and a sprig of leaves burst out right into my face. "It's his dragon!" Kat cried. "He's using it to make the hedge grow." Suddenly, I had visions of us all trapped inside a hedge forever, woven into the foliage. Looking around, I realised I couldn't see where we'd crawled in. "We've got to get out of here," I yelled, spitting out a mouthful of leaves. Everyone starting bashing at the hedge. I think we were all starting to feel a bit panicky, knotted up in there. Our arms and legs were being scratched by twigs, and we were all covered in little bugs and beetles that seemed to be sneaking safely in our hair. "Fancy that! A talking hedge," jeered Liam. "Next thing you know, there'll be magic dragons all over the place." He snorted with laughter and ran off, yelling, "Smell you later, Whiffy Liffy." I groaned. I knew I'd never live down that episode with the dragon poo in the changing rooms. I'd have shouted something back, only I was afraid I'd swallow one of the wayward beetles if I opened my mouth. So there we were, trapped in a hedge, and Liam was free to saunter away, and get himself to Grandad's garden too. After all, what had he said about magic dragons all over the place? It was beginning to look like he really did have plans to get himself another dragon fruit. I glimpsed Flicker through the prickly leaves. I called out to him, and he darted down toward us. Motioning for the others to stay low, I gave him a nod, and he unleashed a fiery breath at the hedge. Sonny and Dodger soon joined in, and between them they burned a gap wide enough for us to crawl through. Looking back at the sizzling leaves, I was afraid the whole hedge would go up like an inferno. But luckily, Crystal froze the burning branches and stopped the fire in its tracks. We stood there, nursing our scratches and picking the wildlife out of our hair and clothes. Then we raced over to Nana and Grandad's house. There was no sign of Liam. While I hung on to help Grandad pick Nana a barrow load of vegetables, the others trotted off home. I looked over the fence at Grim's enormous turnip and imagined Liam sneaking his way across to the dragon fruit tree. I couldn't believe he'd been so stupid enough to try and hatch another dragon when his hands were so completely full with this one. But then, that was Liam for you. There was something even more worrying to think about too, and that something was the dragon fruit tree, because it was looking worse than ever. It was pretty clear to us now that it was Liam's dragon breathing on everything that was making Grim's vegetables so enormous. But Grim, no doubt, thought it was all the chemicals he was using. With such good results, he must have been chucking more and more onto his garden, filling the soil with chemicals that were slowly but surely killing the poor dragon fruit tree. So, that is the chapter for today. Let me know what you think is going to happen, how they're going to catch Liam and his dragon, how they're going to stop Grim from winning the biggest vegetable competition, and yeah, just email me, let me know what you're up to, and the next instalment will be here on Wednesday. I'll see you soon. Bye.